About some things. Wait for y'all to get in here. What's going on, people? There's a lot going on. We're going to talk about Pooh Shiesty and why black men will never learn. You know? Let's see who's here early, though. Shout out to the people that's here early. Sir Shy was good. Armand, Kevin, Shy Sox, Slim South, The Real, ATM, Nell the Ghost, The Bull Tone, Beefer, Chris G, Troy. So you put me on to Nick. Okay, so you know who did that instrumental. Okay. Yeah, I find some good ones, you know. Make sure y'all like the stream, man. Not only that, we're going to talk about YouTuber Poetic Flacco. And he went viral on X today because he exposed who he believes unalived rapper Drakeo the Ruler, a crime that's basically been unsolved for years. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about Pooh Shiesty sending his whole family to jail. Father going to prison. What is it? His cousin going to prison. Girlfriend in jail. You know she's going to flip. I mean, they just arrested everybody around Pooh Shiesty. All because these young Negroes don't know how to critically think. These young Negroes are out of control. But these are the same men that these women will go out of their way to have children by, to get into relationships with. These are the type of men these women are choosing. Ignorant for no reason. You can't put a weapon to somebody's head and tell them to sign a paper and think it's going to be legit. And then you rob him. See, it's bad enough that you force him to sign the paperwork. But to rob him in the undercover, no, not undercover, but the off-duty officer was good, Mark Madness. It's just insane. These black males do not know how to critically think, and they're out here losing. But do we blame the white man for that? The white man didn't tell Pooh Shiesty to go do that. So we're not going to use that as an excuse. Shout out to Sir Shah with the first super chat.
There is a LGBTQ element with these dudes going in and out of jail. Pooh Shiesty might be in love with the D sucks. He brought his family down. Sad.
You said that. It's crazy though how these dudes go back and forth to jail. I thought once you get out of jail, you're gonna do everything in your power not to go back. But see, he's trying to portray also an image that he's a street rapper, bro. The stuff that you were doing 5-10 years ago, you can't get away with that now. It's just way too many cameras, way too much police, way too many informants. You're just not going to get away with it. And the fact that Pooh Shiesty roped in his family members, they're going to jail too over him because he wanted to show Gucci Man how gangster he was. Well, you're going to be sitting in federal prison for at least 20 years. Also want to talk about something. Y'all know about the Jaden Ivy situation, right? I think that situation is very unfortunate because Jaden Ivy admitted that he was abused as a child. And this is why he has grabbed onto and embraced the word of Jesus Christ. He's embraced being a Christian. Make sure y'all like the stream. Let's get the likes up. But because of what he said about the gay community, he was kicked out of the NBA. And there are people who think that that's funny. And they're called themselves Christians. See, a lot of these people cosplay as Christians. We have a lot of cosplaying Christians who don't stand for anything. They get on here, they quote Bible verses. But what does it really mean? What does it really mean to be a Christian? this 24-year-old admitted that he was abused as a child. He got no love from his mother growing up. I believe his mother's a WNBA player. And he said he tried to end his life numerous times. But you MFers got jokes. This is why nobody takes a man's pain seriously, because people want to make jokes. Especially you men who've been abused and you're the main ones laughing, like that jackass on that podcast was laughing at Jaden Ivy. I bet he had the same story as Jaden Ivy, but he's trying to laugh through the pain. Nigga, you can't hide the pain from me. I see right through you, right through your pain, right through your fake laughter. You in pain just as much as he is. And you will attack a man who was abused and because of his beliefs. This is why nobody believes in black man's pain. A black man's pain means nothing because other black men make fun of it. Like a bunch of goofies. When you've went through the same thing. But you're hiding it. You're not being honest about your pain. And you want to laugh at somebody else. It doesn't take away what happened to you. What's good, D? Say shout out to Jay. I missed the phone call days I used to be going off on here. Well, I got some good news, family. What's good, XL Pro? I got good news, family. The phone lines are back. Salute to Sir Shah.
Ivy got his 10 mil guaranteed. Middle finger them haters.
Yeah, he did. He got his money. I guess the Bulls know it's BS. So they're not going to fight him on that. They don't want to get sued. You know what I'm saying? Because he'd win in court. So, yes, I'm glad he's getting his money. And I hope he gets another opportunity. If he does get another opportunity here in the States, he can always go play overseas for a year. But it's just funny to me how, and again, I'm not a cancel culture guy, but how does James Pierce Jr. still have a job, but Jaden Ivy doesn't? James Pierce Jr. allegedly assaulted his girlfriend, tried to run her over in traffic, ran into a police officer. And not only is he out of jail, he still has a job. And he's at the time dating a WNBA player. You see certain communities you just can't talk about. I hope Jaden Ivy gets another opportunity. And you dudes that are laughing, knowing that you're in pain too, this shows you why nobody takes a man's pain seriously. And we get laughed at and mocked by the same men who deal with the same issues. But let me say this about the phone lines. The phone lines are back. I haven't ran any tests yet, but it should come through. But again, the only way I'm going to open up these phone lines is if people start to donate. Okay. We got goals here, people. Having this stuff ain't cheap. You know what I'm saying? I have to pay for this stuff every month. So y'all want me to open them phone lines, I need to see super chatting. All right. But the phone lines, I have one. I have a number. I'm not going to put it up here yet because I know people going to start calling. But, yeah, the phone lines are back. But we'll see. By the end of this show, we may end up taking calls. But, yeah, it's been a while. But y'all know I was running everything through Skype, and then Skype ceased to exist. And after a while, I kind of got discouraged as far as the phone calls is concerned, was because I just felt like you got people that were calling in just to become part of, they wanted the phone. Like, it got to a point to where you have people calling in trying to make the show about themselves. And that's just something I'm not going to tolerate. You know, if you're going to speak on something, speak on it, the topic. Don't call up here asking me different questions about stuff that have nothing to do with the topic. And that's why I just said, you know, screw it. But again, make sure y'all like the stream. And also, let me say this too about Jaden Ivy's wife. You could tell she's one of those white females that's only there because he's a star. He was a star basketball player in college, got to the NBA. She's there for the ride. She's not there for the bumpy times, right? Wouldn't be surprised if she is like a fake Christian or maybe a liberal woman herself. Listen, I'm not fooled by these white women. Just because a white woman dates a black dude, that doesn't mean that she, you know, doesn't have, you know, issues. You know, she's only with him because of what he has. And it's very clear to me that she's only with him because of who he is and what he has. If he was just a regular guy, would she be with him? The fact that she would ghost her own husband that she claims to love. It just shows you these women, man, are fickle. They're only there for the ride. And once that ride is over, they're out of there. That's why I hope he gets another opportunity. But yes, I do have a phone number. And we may go live, may post a phone number, you know, tonight. So let me get into this first one with Pooh Shiesty. What an idiot. Yo, what an idiot. Black men, let me just say this. Crime does not pay. I don't know why this dude thought that that his life was a movie script and that he could kidnap his own boss and force him at gunpoint to sign release papers from the label. And according to Hernandez Govan, I think that's his name, he was speaking to DJ Academics, and he told DJ Academics that verbatim that Gucci Mane told Pooh Shiesty that they still need to go through a lawyer to finalize this release. And then Pooh Shiesty apparently told Gucci Mane to shut his ass up before he shoot him on GP. That's a man that definitely does not need to be out in public. What's good, Stephen B? What's good, boss lady? So I agree 100%. I do have a Mexican girlfriend, but I would never date a white woman. I'm telling you, man, dating white women to me is not that big of a deal. I don't see it. Shout out to Stephen B for being a member. 69 months says he must think he Suge Knight. He must have thought he did. He thought he was in a movie. Prime. What's good, Prime? Salute to you for being a member. Shout out to the members, the channel moderator. Salute to y'all. Everybody, make sure y'all like the stream. This dude thought he was in a movie. And he finding out the hard way, bro, you can't get away with this. Is you crazy? And then what made it worse was that Gucci Mane was with a off-duty police officer. Gucci was about to give bro $50 million before that, from what I heard. You know, I also saw where someone said that Yo Gotti is behind this, and that Yo Gotti, through people close to Pooh Shiesty, convinced him to try to get out of his contract. Because, you know, Pooh Shiesty, you know, coming out of jail, had buzz. And I'm sure that Gucci wanted to capitalize on that. Did I feel like Gucci would have done him dirty? I don't know. I mean, Gucci hasn't done well with the label thing. You know, y'all remember when he released all those artists? But if he was about to do that, then obviously Pooh Shiesty didn't care. Or maybe that was said, you know, after the fact. But black men, yeah, make sure y'all hit the like button. But black men, y'all gotta tell, y'all gotta, what is it with y'all thinking that you're going to pull a crime in public? Well, they were in a public place, the establishment. They weren't at a home. They were in a public establishment. Everything is on camera. You're at a studio where there's tons of cameras. There's people who's gonna say, yeah, we saw them here. Gucci thinking that, you know, he's at a studio at this place, right? Nothing is gonna happen. He has this off-duty police officer. He has this guy filming. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could tell Gucci ain't been in the streets for a while, because the old Gucci probably would have came up there with like 20 dudes. What's good, Miss Tangy? He probably would have came up there with 20 dudes. He wouldn't have, you know, came up there with just a handful of people, right? But this what happens when you basically been medicated by your wife and she controls everything. You don't really think for yourself anymore. So when you go into environments around certain people, you don't really have your guard up. It's very clear that Gucci did not have his guard up. What's good, Charm? Garrett was good. Don C was good. Black men have a lot to do with this, because these are black men going to prison. Did you see the documentation from the government? Ain't nothing but black men on that. And robberies happen all the time, Don C. I'll give you another example why it has to do with black men. There was a guy affiliated with rapper Fetty Wap. He was standing outside with a bunch of dudes, right, in this neighborhood. A car pulls up, two dudes get out and rob him, take everything. Everybody just run off, except for maybe one or two people. There were no white people. There were no non-black people there. It was all niggas. So yes, it has something to do with black men. Y'all don't want to hear the truth. Robberies happen all the time. There's a lot of Negroes in it. I'm not about to sit up here and make excuses for this. You got almost 10 black men going to prison. This is a problem. The robbery thing is only getting worse. They were masked. They were niggas. And they're going to get caught, and we're going to end up seeing what they look like. And I'm be proven right. I'm not making excuses for that. We need to talk. Listen, this is a we need to talk live stream. I'm not making excuses for nobody. I've seen this happen so much since, for years. It's gotten out of control. It's getting out of control. You're starting to see black women out here robbing people themselves, not just setting it up, robbing people themselves. It's a problem. And it's only getting worse. When you grow up in environments like that, it breeds a certain type of man or male who like going to prison. Got to. Because for Pooh Shiesty to do this so brazenly, he must have wanted to go back. Bro did that with his ankle monitor on. Right, this dude's supposed to be at a halfway house. He's supposed to be at a halfway house. So they knew where he was at all times, and he still did this. What's good, TW? Now, apparently, when they first met up, he asked him, right? But he was prepared to take these desperate measures. And maybe Gucci was probably mocking him, like, man, I ain't letting you out your contract. Is you crazy? And you know how that blackmail bravado is. Oh, you gonna talk to me like that? You're not gonna do what I asked you? And then this happens. It's unfortunate, but it happened. We don't need to run away from these conversations. We need to have them. It's becoming a problem. What's good, Michael? Is it Kaya? Is it Kaya? That's your name? We need to have these conversations, not run away from it. Make sure y'all like the stream too. Oh yeah, let me make this announcement. Kick is going to be my other streaming home. Okay. So make sure that y'all go in the description box. One of the moderators, y'all can put the link in there to kick.com. I need y'all to go over there and subscribe. I need to get the subscribers up over there on Kick. Make sure y'all go subscribe over there at Kick. That's going to be the other place that I go live from. Bro thought this was Arc Raiders. They came in, knocked everyone, got the guap and extracted. Got the goop and extracted. Right. And that's the thing. They think life is a video game. They think life is Grand Theft Auto. That's the thing I notice a lot of these rappers who be on Twitch. All of them play Grand Theft Auto. And I guess some of these people think that Grand Theft Auto is real. And that you can actually put a gun to somebody's head and force them to sign. Rollo bought his way out of his contract when he got out. Why couldn't he when he bought the new Mercedes last week? Right. Jay? He could have. I'm pretty sure if Yo Gotti wanted him bad enough, he would have gave him the money to do it. But see, they don't, I guess, these guys, they don't think that way. Rollo, he's thinking more business. He's not trying to go to jail over nobody, probably. You know what I'm saying? But Pooh Shiesty feeling like he has to prove himself. Because, again, you got these young dudes. They think they know everything. You can't tell them nothing. This guy roped his father into this. Even though his father didn't help. And his father probably was okay with what he did. But still, he really thought that by becoming a GTA character, that he was going to get out of his contract. And didn't understand, was good rider-wise, that Gucci was going to have not only the white videographer, but the off-duty officer. Yo, Gucci was smart. I don't know if it was him. Maybe it was Keisha. Keisha Kior. But having an off-duty police as your security means that anybody that robs you or attempts to, that guy has to report it. And that person is going to go to jail. Now, people are saying Gucci Man is snitching. Do y'all think Gucci Man is snitching? I mean, he's not in control of most of his faculties. I mean, we know that. We know he's not in control. Right? We know that he ain't in control. Keisha's in control. We know Keisha's in control, so he probably had no say-so. He probably had no say-so on the matter. To him, it's nothing. He left with his life, and that's the only thing that matters. Just like the guy, the Fetty Wap affiliate that got robbed looked like in broad daylight, right in front of a street camera. He gave up the jewelry, walked away with his life. And whoever has that jewelry is going to get caught because you can't sell the jewelry because it's already a red flag on it. It might get cash, you got to get some cash, but you can't sell that jewelry. The best you can do is wear it. But then if that dude, people see you wearing that jewelry, it's good, Trey, Jay. That's how YouTube be, Jay. It don't want to send out the notifications, man. That's why I tell y'all, make sure y'all subscribe to the X channel. Make sure that y'all subscribe to my Facebook and Jada Black on Facebook, and also Instagram. I put up a video on Instagram letting y'all know I'm live. What's good, G. Marie Rochester? But they're saying it. Listen, he didn't have to. People are saying it because I guess they're trying to say he snitched because he's involved. I don't know. But does it matter? His wife is in control of everything, and she's going to make sure that they know what actually happened because he probably told her. So if anybody's cooperating, it's probably her and that officer. The officer, listen, Gucci doesn't really have to say anything because the officer, of course, is going to tell everything, but Gucci can add insight. You really want Pooh Shiesty to go to prison? What's good, Chris? Tell you love that stage name, Pooh Shiesty. What's good, Darlene? I'm good, Darlene. How about you? You did snitch. Let admit it. It's just in the Atlanta thing now. Civilians don't snitch. Gucci isn't civilian. He's still a street affiliated. Ain't no outs with that life. And that's the sentiment I'm seeing, unfortunately. That is the sentiment that I'm seeing. People are saying that he told. Maybe he doesn't see himself as that same street dude, but people are gonna assume that he is. What's good, young Jay? It's good to see you. Shout out to Darlene. Says keep it up with the super sticker. I appreciate it, Darlene. Thank you for the support, Darlene. Now we're going to go to this video from, let's see, from the Law and Crime page. Make sure y'all like the stream again.
We have a
Okay, here we go.
bombshell new legal case on our hands. The alleged robbery and kidnapping.
And by the way, y'all let me know in the chat, do y'all think that this trial, whenever it happens, is going to be streamed publicly? Miss Shan J says, start snitching 2026. Listen, if you're not in these streets, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? They already doing it. Not only are the civilians snitching, but you got people in the streets. They've been snitching forever. In California, you can get paid to snitch. Like the gangs be snitching on each other, getting paid for it. No, because it's feds.
Of rapper Gucci Mane.
This case should serve as a warning to others who believe that using violence and intimidation tactics to rob others in our community is a viable way to conduct business. I'm here to say that it is not, and that if you choose to do this, we'll bring you swiftly to justice.
And this DOJ is all about locking people up. That's the one thing I've noticed about the Trump DOJ. They are going after gangs hard. Like, damn near every state is getting hit with RICOs. Look at what happened in California, New York. They've ramped it up. Atlanta. I think we've seen some RICOs in Florida, in some of these other states. I mean, they're ramping up these federal cases, man. People expect Gucci to go back to his old ways and get tricked off the streets. Yeah, I don't think so either. I just think Gucci's at a point. He's comfortable. He's not trying to go back to prison. You know? Says it will because it's not a RICO. It will be streamed. If it's a RICO, no. If it's federal, no. Okay. Black Panthers went down because of snitching. Absolutely. Pooh is cooked and
Wait
done.
until you hear not only the allegations, but the evidence, surveillance, Instagram accounts, fingerprints.
Look at it. Oh
It is
my God.
something to say the least.
Y'all see these people flash? They were flashing
criminal
his jewelry. This how you know they ain't never, people not used to nothing. You rob somebody and you flash the stuff you rob from somebody. Like, you just self-snitching. Like, so much self-snitching goes on, people don't even need to tell. because they do all the police work for them. We are in a self-snitch culture. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, not everybody, but most of these guys that get caught are self-snitching. Make sure y'all like the stream.
Complaint that lays out everything, and we're going to break it all down for you right now. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Okay, I have to share this. Some really exciting news, okay? We have spent so much time together here at Law and Crime. A sense of this headline. Rapper Gucci Mane was allegedly robbed and kidnapped by other rappers? So as the Department of Justice puts it in their release statement, quote, this week, 9 individuals, including well-known musical artists, were federally charged for kidnapping and robbing at gunpoint numerous victims at a music studio in Dallas, Texas, announced United States Attorney for the Northern District of Texas, Ryan Raybould. 8 of the 9 were arrested in Dallas, Texas and Memphis, Tennessee. The charged defendants include Lontrell Williams Jr., a.k.a. Pooh Shiesty, Lontrell Williams Sr., Rodney Wright Jr., a.k.a. Big 30, Kadarius Waters, Terrence Rogers, Demarion Gibson, DeMarcus Glover, Corday Johnson, Darian McDaniel. Actually, by the way, there was a press conference held yesterday, and I want you to listen to that moment where they talk about that one person who was missing in this, right? So there's people who's charged, but not everybody had been arrested. So this is United States Attorney for the Northern District of Texas, Ryan Raybould.
One of the individuals that's been charged has not had his initial appearance yet, but agents are actively working to locate and bring him to court.
So that means he's on the run. All those black men. All them. And the thing is, I don't even think this is like a RICO or anything. This is just a bunch of them getting caught, and they're going to see who's going to tell. So some people from that list is probably going to tell, especially the people who feel like they didn't do anything in it, right? You know, the girlfriend, she was arrested. I don't know if she was on that list. I don't think she was on that list. But man, crime definitely does not pay anymore. There's just way too much. There's way too many ways of getting caught. And this was so brazen. Like, why would you even do that?
I wanted to touch on that actually. Eric Bushman with KRLD. Since there's one person you're still trying to get to come in, I guess it's not an arrest because it's initial appearance. You would say that you're trying to work out. Because you're going public with this, are you afraid at all that that's going to hinder and eventually getting an individual in?
Agents are working to find him. The complaint has already been unsealed, and a number of these defendants have had their public hearing already, their initial appearance, and so it's already out there that this individual has been charged, and so that information is in the public record. But I trust that the agents will be able to identify this person and find them and bring them to justice. Of course, that person can turn themselves in immediately.
And I have a 32-page criminal complaint that was...
You know, the only way he turned himself in is if he runs out of places to go, man. So many people, when they come to being on the run, they don't have it in them, man. So that's how, in some cases, they end up turning themselves in. Let's look at this list, though. Let's look at this,
in the
these
United
documents.
States District Court for the Northern District of Texas that I'm going to break down for you as simply as possible. I want you to know the allegations, the potential evidence, the parties, okay? Gives you an idea about what this case is about. And I got to say this before I even get into it. You're going to understand, after I go through this, why these individuals were arrested in light of this alleged evidence, but all of them are innocent until proven guilty. I got to say that because, again, you're going to listen to this and you might be saying, wow, the evidence against them is arguably really bad, but nothing has been proven as of yet. Okay, with that caveat, let's get into it. So this is an affidavit. It is a sworn statement from an FBI special agent in support of a criminal complaint. And this is the statement of probable cause that crimes were committed. Okay? It starts by claiming that on January 10th, 2026, the victims, who are only identified by initials, by the way, and they include RD, which we have to assume is Gucci Mane. His real name is Radrick Davis. They say they were robbed and kidnapped at gunpoint at a music studio in Dallas, Texas. Now, there was apparently a scheduled meeting between RD and suspect Lontrell Williams Jr. And apparently, this hip-hop artist is known as Pooh Shiesty, and he was reportedly signed to RD's record label 1017 Records. Now, this meeting was reportedly about a contract dispute. This is again according to prosecutors. And it seems that Williams Jr. wanted out. So the affidavit claims that when RD and the other alleged victims in this case and others go into this office building, they realize it's closed. So Williams Sr., this is apparently Williams Jr.'s father, was apparently trying to book a recording studio that day for his son and for RD to record music. Williams Sr. was apparently talking to this unidentified individual just known as Jaye, another player in this, who owns the studio.
Like the stream?
It's inside this office building. So now you get the geography, what we're talking about here. So the affidavit includes apparent stills from surveillance footage that arguably shows Williams Sr. speaking to someone on the phone outside the building. I'm going to give you a little preview here. There are a lot of stills, a lot of stills.
What he said, it says it's a lot of stills, which means there's a lot of cameras documenting your every move when you go into these public spaces. They're documenting your every move. That's why I don't understand, like, why would you do this? You were that desperate to get out of your contract? You handle it the proper way. You get a lawyer and you go to court. Like this dude, Pooh Shiesty, was streaming. Get you a streaming contract. I don't know if it interferes with your music contract, but, get you like a streaming deal with Kick or something, you know what I'm saying, a Twitch or whatever, and just focus on that while you fight to get out of your contract or maybe renegotiate it. It looks to me like the people around him got into his ear and told him he didn't have to be on that label. Because I think from what I've seen, I could totally be wrong. They could be wrong, but he wanted to go elsewhere.
Gucci bout to get all the cash for FDO single Tears of Joy, Tears of Joy.
Right. Appreciate that, YGJ. Yeah, he's never getting out of his contract now. You know, he's gonna be like Tory Lanez recording albums in jail, to satisfy that contract, because he's never getting out at this point of that contract, because Gucci could say, hey, I signed this under duress. This is voided. I signed this under duress, and they're going to agree.
In this criminal complaint. And by the way, that helps corroborate the details. It helps corroborate the timeline. It helps corroborate the events that are laid out when you have purportedly time-stamped stills of this surveillance video. Now, an assistant reportedly arrives to help with production at 3:39 p.m. that day, and the affidavit claims that this father and son duo, the Williamses.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it.
Make sure y'all like the stream.
Williams is arguing with somebody on the phone. Okay, they're arguing. And I'm going to read you this verbatim. Quote, at approximately 3:43 p.m., Williams Jr. and Williams Sr., Wright, Johnson, Waters, Rogers, Gibson, Glover, and McDaniel entered the east side of the office building. The target suspects walked through the lobby area of the office building before going inside the studio. One individual with a dreadlock hairstyle, later identified as Gibson, can be seen on video exiting the office building and shortly thereafter returning with a bag slung over his shoulder. Again, embedded in this complaint are the apparent surveillance stills.
Look at them.
Okay? Now, the affidavit claims they go into the studio where the victims were, the alleged victims were, and there are stills, by the way. They included the studio lobby, the control room, the recording room. And at one point, it is alleged that Williams Jr., who was, by the way, I was blown away by this detail, was allegedly wearing an ankle monitor, okay, goes to speak to RD privately about the...
Yeah, wearing an ankle monitor, living in a halfway house, and he still was committed to doing this. He didn't care at all about going back to jail. And this is the mindset of these males. These males don't care anymore. And let me tell you something, the system doesn't care either. And they will throw you in jail and not care at all. If you don't care, they don't care. You're just gonna be another statistic. This guy walking around with an ankle monitor at a halfway house and still decided to go and do what he did. Like, what was the why was he in such a rush to get out of his deal? And again, a rumor that I saw is that people are thinking that Yo Gotti may have been putting pressure on the people around Pooh Shiesty, Pooh Shiesty, to get out of his deal. Because when you're coming out of jail and you have this buzz, people want to capitalize on it.
If they caught on the flick, Gucci didn't snitch, yawning face.
Appreciate that, YGJ. Listen, Gucci said he didn't tell. I have no proof that he told, but there are people who believe he did. But the case was built off of what Pooh Shiesty did. Him, his daddy, his cousin. The actions, their actions got them arrested. Nothing Gucci Man would have told would have been any difference, because the government had what they needed. They had what they needed. And it's because they make these officers' job easy with their actions. The self-snitching, posting yourself wearing somebody else's jewelry, having an ankle monitor on so they know exactly your movements. They know that you're in that studio with Gucci Man at that particular day. You, your daddy, your cut, all them. And the thing is, he just got out of prison. And let me tell you something, you're not going to get too many chances to be getting in, because he cut a deal, from what it looks like. He cut a deal to get to take the 5 years so he can get out. And you thinking, okay, he got this deal, he did the 5 years, he gets out, and look at what this guy does. Look at what this guy does. They don't care about their freedom. Who else is supposed to care? I guess the only other people that care about Pooh Shiesty's freedom is his fans. Because they're gonna sit him down for a very long time, over this, unless he cuts a plea deal. The best chance that he has is to cut a plea deal. All of them. Cut a plea deal. Because if you take this to trial and you lose, you're going to be in there your life is going to be over. By the time you get out, you're going to be a senior citizen, messing around with the federal agents. You're going to be that old head trying to look young and act young. That's where you're going to be at when you get out of prison.
Contract. I'll talk about the ankle monitor in a second.
Make sure y'all like the stream.
There was actually an argument, and it ends up with Williams Jr. being accused of taking out a black AK-style pistol and pointing it at RD, allegedly demanding he sign the contract release paperwork. Now, RD allegedly complied, signed it. Again, we're assuming this is Gucci Mane. And there was the claim that RD, seemingly Gucci Mane, was not allowed to leave as he was being held at gunpoint. There are allegations that Wright allegedly recorded RD signing the paperwork and being forced to say he released Williams Jr. from the contract.
Recorded him. That, again, self-snitching. They recorded it. They recorded it. So did the recording see Pooh Shiesty with the gun in his face? Did it record that?
And then afterwards, it's alleged that Williams Jr. took RD's wedding ring and watch and earrings and cash. I do wonder if they have that video. Okay, I do wonder if they have that. But I'm going to read you verbatim again from the complaint. Waters, Rogers, Johnson, Glover, McDaniel, and Gibson produced handguns or AR-AK-style pistols and began to demand property from BP and MM. BP was pushed onto a couch in the control room while an individual known to BP as CMO Dam Fu and part of Williams Jr.'s crew searched his pockets and stole his wallet. BP's chain and a necklace were stolen from his neck. McDaniel threatened to shoot BP for moving, but Williams Jr. instructed McDaniel not to. Was choked from behind to the point of nearly losing consciousness during the kidnapping and robbery, resulting in scratches on his neck and wrist. Now, embedded in the complaint are what appear to be photos seemingly showing cuts or abrasions on MM's neck and wrist, and there is a claim that his wallet and watches and a Louis Vuitton bag and headphones were stolen. And if you're wondering about the security, right, didn't they have security with him? Well, the claim is that the victim's security realized they were outnumbered and outgunned.
Give it 3 or
Outnumbered and outgunned. But what they didn't understand, this wasn't a regular security guy. This guy was an off-duty police officer, which was smart on Gucci's end to have that, you know, because in case something happens, you know. You don't have to call the police is with you. But see, Pooh Shiesty didn't understand this. Pooh Shiesty is trying to be he's trying to be a gangster in that moment, not understanding that that has consequences. If you want to be gangster, be smart. Don't be dumb.
Goes on to say, quote, RD was pushed onto the couch in the control room. Again, we're talking seemingly about Gucci Mane, causing the victims to believe they were going to be executed. Williams Jr. placed the barrel of a firearm to the back of BP's head and ordered him and RD to leave the control room in the studio through the west entrance of the office building. RD then instructed CW and TD to escort them to their vehicle. As the victims left, turned to Williams Jr. and asked him if they were really taking his watches. Based on later recovered surveillance video footage, the target suspects left the studio and the office building through the east entrance at approximately 4:48 p.m. And from there, the affidavit lays out the photos of the alleged suspects purportedly leaving the building and also the cars that were believed to be connected
everything
to them traveling northbound.
Everything.
Now, how did they find the alleged suspects? So this is
not
really
only
interesting.
cameras on the inside, cameras on the outside. Not only did they have these dudes on camera, they got the cars as well.
We're going to start with vehicle identification. So the affidavit claims that Wright's father owns a 2020 Dodge Charger Hellcat with Tennessee plates. The authorities apparently use license plate readers to track the Charger following another car, a Dodge Ram. We're talking about 2:18 p.m. on January 10th. And they claim that that Dodge Ram looks like the one on surveillance video near the crime scene later that afternoon. They apparently used license plate readers to also link the Charger traveling very close to a white Buick Enclave, and using rental records, they determined that the Enclave was rented by Williams Sr. Let's go to electronic location monitoring. Remember when I said the ankle monitor for Williams Jr.? Well, apparently, he was serving a sentence for federal drug and weapons charges. Home detention, had to wear an electronic monitoring device. So they're able to use location data from that device to seemingly track his apparent movements near the crimes.
That's what you call self-snitching. The ankle monitor never lies, and they're gonna always keep their eyes on you no matter where you go. Why didn't he just cut the ankle monitor then? Just cut it then. It's crazy.
And then the affidavit claims that Williams Sr. and Williams Jr. went to a Staples store earlier in the day. Why? The allegation is to print off the contractual release paperwork, which again was a key part of this whole alleged dispute and incident. Now the feds say surveillance.
Yo, how many of y'all in the chat room have ever had to go to like Office Depot or a Staples to like maybe print or even fax something off? Like, that's crazy. He did. I guess he didn't want to use the printer at home. I don't know. Okay, shout out to YGJ again.
Damn, they ain't even take of the plates. How stupid can you be, bruh? Might as well cut the ankle monitor off like Fujiano SMH.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. Shout out to you, man. Yeah, because it's like, you're going to do a crime. They're going to use that ankle monitor against you. Just go ahead and cut it then. Why would you leave it on you? At least if you cut it, you got plausible deniability. Even if you're wearing masks, they can still read that ankle monitor.
Video and GPS data put them there.
And the
cell phone
plates.
records. You know these are always key in a criminal investigation, right? I'm going to read you verbatim what it says. Stay with me. This is a big part. Investigators obtained cell phone records for Williams Jr., Williams Sr., Wright, Johnson, Waters, Rogers, and Gibson, and telematics location data and records for the Dodge Charger Hellcat and the Dodge Ram. Records indicate Wright, Johnson, Waters, Rogers, and Gibson traveled together from Memphis, Tennessee to Dallas, Texas in the Dodge Charger Hellcat and the Dodge Ram. They left Memphis on January 8, 2026 and arrived in Dallas in the early morning hours of January 9, 2026. The data from Glover's electronic monitoring device aligns with these cell phone records. On January 10, 2026, from approximately 2:28 p.m. to approximately 2:46 p.m., Williams Jr., Williams Sr., Wright, Johnson, Waters, Rogers, Gibson, the Dodge Charger Hellcat, and the Dodge Ram were in the area of the Windrose Tower, a location Williams Jr. resided prior to moving. They all traveled together to the area of offense location, meaning the crime scene, arriving at approximately 3 p.m. The data from Williams Jr.'s electronic monitoring device and location information for the Buick Enclave align with the cell phone records. Williams Jr., Williams Sr., Wright, Waters, Rogers, Gibson, the Dodge Charger Hellcat, and the Dodge Ram traveled together from the area of the offense location, leaving at approximately 4:50 p.m. to the area of the Star in Frisco, Texas, arriving at approximately 5:07 p.m. Look how exact this is. Williams Jr., Williams Sr., Wright, Johnson, Waters, Rogers, and Gibson utilized towers with coverage that includes the Star until approximately 9:30 p.m. The data from Williams Jr.'s electronic monitoring device and location information for the Buick Enclave aligned with the cell phone records. Wright, Johnson, Waters.
Man, I'm telling y'all, man, people have no idea the surveillance that is going on right now. You can't get away with it. They know everywhere you go. It don't matter where you are in your city, state, whether you decide to drive across the country. They're going to find your license plate. They're going to find it. Memphis got some of the dumbest criminals. I'm telling you, man, like, what's going on out there? Like, what's going on? Like, it's just, like, y'all gave the investigation to the feds. Like, the feds ain't even had to do a lot of hard work. They did a lot of basic work to get this information. This seemed like a lot of basic police work, right? Just going out and getting video surveillance. You got them tracking the plates, them also tracking the ankle monitor. Like, they already had a lot of stuff, and they just tracking them everywhere they went. It's like you trying something like this in 2026, all this surveillance, especially in a city like Memphis. I'm pretty sure they got cameras and also in Texas as well. Surveillance is everywhere.
Rogers, Gibson, the Dodge Charger Hellcat, and the Dodge Ram. I have to keep repeating it because I think it's important that you identify the different parties here and the different sources of location. Traveled together from the area of the Star in Frisco to the area of the Comfort Inn, where they remained overnight. Williams Jr. and Williams Sr. remained in the area of the Star overnight. Goes on to say, cell phone records indicate that on January 13, 2026, Wright, Johnson, and Waters traveled together with the Dodge Ram from Dallas, Texas to Memphis, Tennessee. So, if these allegations are true, you are...
YGJ says, I'm from North Mississippi. Jay, they like that from Memphis all the way to Jackson, bruh. Yeah, I've heard. Oh, man.
Seeing firsthand in detail how difficult it is in 2026 in an urban environment to commit a crime and not be tracked. This is a digital world, digital prosecution, and it can be very tough for defense attorneys to argue against the reliability of this data, particularly if you're combining different forms of data, cell phone with surveillance, with GPS monitoring, right? But you heard the Comfort Inn, by the way, according to the affidavit. The Comfort Inn records confirmed, or allegedly confirmed, that Gibson paid for 4 rooms at the hotel. So now you have financial records,
Got
documentation.
financial records. Yo, this is why the feds were so giddy about this. Look at all the evidence they have. And this is just what they're putting out publicly. It don't tell them what they know, what they have privately, because then they got to interview everybody and cut deals. Man, this case is being served up to them on a silver platter. Appreciate you, Darlene. Listen, look at all this evidence. Like, they have everything. Now, all they're going to say is, listen, look at what we have. We need y'all to talk. And trust me, people going to talk. Just a matter of who it is going to be. But y'all, they gave them everything. They got everything.
Dumb ASL rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing.
Right. Appreciate that. YGJ. Appreciate that. Salute to you for supporting in this stream, man. They are very dumb. They are very dumb, man.
Reviewed surveillance footage from the Comfort Inn and observed Wright, Johnson, Waters, Rogers, Gibson, Glover, McDaniel inside the Comfort Inn, all clad in clothing similar to what the suspects in the kidnapping and robbery appeared to be wearing. In the affidavit,
didn't even change their
are
clothes.
Side-by-side comparisons of the alleged players, what they were seemingly wearing at the crime scene versus what they were seemingly wearing at the Comfort Inn. Again, all allegations, but you see why this is building up. Now,
whole case already there. They got like most of the evidence probably already. Now they just got to get like the physical evidence on hand. That's why they went and raided Pooh Shiesty's house. Was good, Beefer. Devon was good. Accounting Tom was good. Make sure y'all like the stream if you haven't. Yeah, they did think it was 1986. Like, bro, there's cameras and surveillance everywhere. Like, and they just served up the case to them.
Now, there was also a section about how investigators found prints, so we're talking fingerprints, latent prints, of Gibson and Rogers on these red Solo cups, too, that were apparently left at the crime scene.
Oh, no.
Move on to social media. This one's next level, okay? So apparently investigators compare the descriptions of Williams Jr. from the victims, like how they described him, to an Instagram account, @Pooh Shiesty. And investigators say it shows a match. And they end up doing that for Williams Sr. and Wright and Waters, and how even there are photos apparently of them together online, and how they even match state IDs with these accounts too. And I gotta call out Rogers here. Quote, on surveillance footage from the offense location, the individual believed to be Rogers can be seen exiting the building carrying what appears to be the Louis Vuitton bag MM reportedly stolen. On January 15th, 2026, so just a few days later, Rogers posted a video on @DamnFool375 showing him wearing a Rolex GMT Master 2 with an oyster steel band that appears visually similar to the watch stolen from MM, who provided investigators with photographs, a receipt, and the serial number for the stolen watch. Additional posts on @DamnFool375 show Rogers wearing shoes similar to those he wore during the offense. And they embed photos allegedly showing this too. From Glover's Instagram, here's a sample. January 11th, 2026, a story featuring a large amount of cash, a Rolex visually similar to the one stolen from MM, and a location tag of Dallas, Texas. January 17th, 2026. A story showing Glover with a Rolex that appears identical to the one stolen from MM, stating he got a new rope, believed to be slang for watches or necklaces.
Flashing somebody else's stuff. Yeah, Darlene, they're not used to anything. And this is proof. Look at this. Look at this Negro. Look at this Negro. Like, Pooh Shiesty didn't tell them dudes, hey, don't post. Like, you knew they was thirsty when they did that robbery. Because they took everything. They took Gucci's earrings, his wedding band. Al Capone would never. Right, that's what I'm telling you. They're not used to. They probably not used to doing crimes. Because if you've done crime before, one thing you're going to do is try not to get caught. But if your leader is Pooh Shiesty, who doesn't know what he's doing himself, this is what's going to happen. Because if you actually had somebody who was leading the crew, they would say, hey, don't do this or don't do that. These dudes are doing it anyway. Like, bruh, giving all the evidence to the feds, giving everything to the feds. Do the feds even need Gucci to say anything? All the evidence is there. And they put it on the internet. No fear at all they get caught. Because they thought, well, Gucci's not going to say anything, but they didn't know or understand that he was with an off-duty officer. See, that's what happens when you do stupid crime. You don't do your research, and you do things on impulse because, you know, your feelings and because you want to show how tough you are. Bro, there's a prison for people like that always want to show how tough they are or how street they are. There's always a prison for those people.
January 19th, 2026, videos of Glover wearing a necklace with a 1017 pendant that appears identical to the one stolen from BP. So the allegation being, you didn't only steal all this.
Websites your competitors don't want you.
Giving all the evidence. All the evidence.
You flaunted it. Now,
Yeah.
defense attorneys would say, not the same necklace. They own this. These are kind of rare items, though, particularly if you're talking about that Rolex. And I'm sure they could have a dispute about whether or not these items were actually stolen or not. But again, timing, circumstances, the potential rarity of these items, something to keep in mind. Innocent until proven guilty, problematic. Now, something else that I have to note that may be used as evidence later on. So when you apparently go to these guys' like Instagram pages, from what I could see, they're pretty much scrubbed. They might have a couple posts still up, but that appears to be it. You know, Shiesty still has a lot on it, so it's kind of hard to tell if stuff is gone from that. But if prosecutors can prove that they deleted stuff to potentially destroy evidence or try to hide from authorities, that will be interesting. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe it was deleted after their arrest for some reason or after the charges. I don't really know, but it's something I've noticed. And then in this paperwork, they do something that I think is really interesting, and I'll just say kind of refreshing, because in this criminal complaint, at least for my analysis purposes, they really list out the evidence against each defendant very clearly. So for example, Lontrell Williams Jr., eyewitness accounts state that Williams Jr. brought RD into the recording studio and demanded that RD sign the release contract at gunpoint before taking RD's wedding ring, watch, earrings, and cash. Eyewitness accounts also place Williams Jr. in the room when the additional kidnapping and robberies of MM and BP occurred. Cell phone records, electronic location monitoring, and surveillance footage place Williams Jr. at the offense location. Electronic location monitoring data also places Williams Jr. at a Staples location with his father, believed to be printing the termination contract prior to arriving at the offense location. And they do this again for every one of the defendants, and then it goes on to say, based on the facts set forth above, there is probable cause to believe that on January 10th, 2026, in the Dallas Division of the Northern District of Texas, DeMarcus Glover, Demarion Gibson, Corday Johnson, Darian McDaniel, Terrence Rogers, Kadarius Waters, Lontrell Williams Jr., Lontrell Williams Sr., and Rodney Wright Jr. conspired to and committed kidnapping in violation of 18 U.S.C. 1201 A and C. By the way, when you hear like that they're together in the same room while there's other robberies going on, that's the agreement, right? Conspiracy is an agreement to commit a crime, and you know, what were the overt steps taken in furtherance of that agreement. And my understanding, if convicted, each defendant faces a sentence of up to life imprisonment. This is again according to the DOJ. I mentioned this before, I'll mention it again. There was a press conference that was held, and it happened yesterday. I want to play you some more sound from it, okay? It fills in some of the details. And again, this is the United States Attorney when asked about the victims, and I think it's interesting what he says.
This case really underscores the importance of standing up for crime victims, no matter who they are or where they come from, and the incredible collaborative, investigative partnerships that we have, not only in the Northern District of Texas, but across the country. And we are all working together to make our country safer. As far as victims go, we won't get into at this time who the victims are or not. I'm not going to get.
I don't think anybody else were at any type of risk due to this, except for One person. Shout out to TW.
Emotional males never get far in life.
Uh-huh.
Things just seem to get worse with us over time.
Absolutely. I thank you for the support, TW. I appreciate that. Shout out to you. You know, for supporting the live stream. Yeah, and that's what when I started off the stream, I talked about, you know, a lot of these males, man, these guys are they're out of control now. And they think life is a video game until they realize there are real world consequences for their actions. And that you can lose everything, your freedom, your career, with one stupid decision. They don't understand that. They don't understand you could lose everything due to one decision. You could have found another way to get out of your contract. But I believe people is in his ear trying to convince him, you don't have to be on this label. You got, and you got these young fools who think they know everything. They think they the toughest dude out here and don't understand that, you're just sabotaging yourself and you have to be smart. You have to move smart. A lot of these guys are moving very dumb. Watching too many Tubi movies. Right. Like, bro, this ain't a movie or a video game. This is real life. You can go to prison for a very long time for doing these things.
Get into the victim stuff at this time. I think that more will be coming out there that will help clarify, but I'm not at liberty at this stage of the investigation to disclose that.
Yeah, so at the time of this recording, authorities haven't come out and absolutely said this allegedly happened to Gucci Mane. There are protections of victims in every state and every prosecution, so you have to keep that in mind. But you know how I mentioned the evidence, right? This is the U.S. attorney talking about that evidence and the punishment.
That was one of the reasons I wanted to list off some of the evidence that has been uncovered to date. A lot of this was subpoena work.
Shout out to Divine
Out of
Photos.
the people that was there, you mean to tell me not one person with common sense in the crew that's there told Pooh? I don't know about this.
Appreciate that, Divine Photos. It's good to see you. Nobody, not Pooh Shiesty's father, not his cousin, none of the stooges, none of them. None of them said to themselves, we shouldn't do this, because they probably was all hungry. That's why they robbed everything from them, because most of them guys are broke. All right, and they needed something. And Pooh Shiesty's leading them. This guy shouldn't be leading anybody. This is the job you do, you and your dad. And what's interesting is that, when children do things now, they making it to where if a child does something, the parent gets arrested for it. Like there was a small child that ran into the street, right? Almost got hit by a car. Do y'all know they arrested the mother of that child instead of the woman who almost hit that child? They arrested the mother because to them, the actions of the child and what could have happened is the mother's fault. In this situation, Pooh Shiesty's father should get more time than anybody because you sat there and you and your son planned this. And you should have been a father and said, no, we're not going to do this. But you didn't.
Search warrant work and things like that in order to develop the investigation. And so the agents here with me, the agents out in the field, it takes a little bit of time to identify who did this offense and build a case so that we feel comfortable bringing the charges. So actually that's pretty quickly for a federal case of this gravity and this nature. And so I'm very proud of the investigative work and it will continue from this office as well as our FBI and our local police department.
If convicted of these charges, these arrests, how serious are these crimes? What do these people face?
They're facing a range, so there's no mandatory minimum in this case. It's a range of punishment, and it'll be in the province of the judge, whoever gets the case. But it could be from 0 all the way to life imprisonment. And as you know, a lot of what will guide what's called the sentencing guidelines will be the individual's previous criminal history, the fact that one of these individuals committed the offense while on home confinement, so actually serving a federal offense, assuming that individual is convicted, that will be an aggravating factor for sure.
Big case, big developments, big evidence. We'll continue to monitor what happens next.
All right. Now that was video number 1. Now we're gonna get to this. We're gonna switch gears a little bit. I don't know, this video might be too long. Because I was gonna react to this Poetic Flacco video, but I may just video 27 minutes. I want to go ahead and get people calling. Shout out to the people that donated tonight. So I'm gonna have to change my title or I can go back. I can go back to it. Let's see. So let me go ahead and get these calls popping. Let's see. Hopefully y'all can hear it. Say the National more info on it. Okay. Well, that's the phone now. I'm not gonna take a lot of calls. I'm gonna take maybe 4 or 5, maybe. So that's the number there. So see if y'all can call in. This is basically going to be a test run as well with the phone lines. This is going to be a test run as well. 803. I should have had like something visually. 803-369-3870. So Jay-Z interview was cringe and stage. I'm going to get to Jay-Z. Definitely. So if nobody calls in, we can get this Poetic Flacco video then. Salute to everybody that's here. But yeah, just imagine like your parent, your father, helping you, commit a weird crime. And now you both sitting in prison, and your father, he could be in there for the rest of his life. You just never know how these things, tend to what happens, right? Yeah, okay. So is anybody gonna call in? Now I can get to this Poetic Flacco video. Let's see. Which I thought was hella funny. Because it's a serious topic, but the dude just, he dressed like a blood, man. Like, what? Like, come on. Oh, man. Hold on. Let me, let's see. I'm going to play this while I guess I wait to see if people can call in. Maybe they can't, hold on. All right. I just want to say shout out to Poetic Flacco and what he's built. You dig? All Let's play it.
Featuring rap legends like Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube. A person was stabbed and police have shut down the show.
Well, a man is...
Hold on. Okay, here we go. Yo, Flacco, you did your big one with this one, man.
The murder of rapper Drakeo the Ruler has been unsolved until today. Because in this video, I'm revealing the name of the person who killed Drakeo the Ruler. I'm revealing the face of the person who killed Drakeo the Ruler. And I'm breaking down in grave details how they were able to kill Drakeo the Ruler at a packed-out festival.
Chaos at a packed concert featuring rap legends like Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube. A person was stabbed and police have shut down the show.
Well, a man is reported dead after being stabbed at a concert in Exposition Park last night. TMZ is reporting the victim was rapper Drakeo the Ruler. It happened around 8:30 last night during the Once Upon a Time in LA Music Festival being held at the Bank of California Stadium.
A couple of days ago, I made a post where I announced I'm about to expose and reveal who killed a really famous LA rapper. A lot of famous LA rappers have died. I never said the name of who I was about to expose. But when that post went up, almost immediately, hit dogs began hollering.
Listen, it's called Connect Team, and it's insane. I don't do...
Dogs who's been hollering the loudest, trying to get me not to drop this video, is Inglewood family blood Munchie B, who Drakeo the Ruler famously dissed in his Inglewood diss when he says, I just dropped 50 on a blind ninja, he ain't see it coming. He was talking about Munchie B. Munchie B thought that targeting me and my parents for something one of my relatives did would sway me from dropping this video. It didn't. Munchie would even make a threat that he wasn't done with me and he was gonna be at me every day if I dropped this video.
Frederick, your real name, you know what I'm saying? But whatever, Frederick, Jala. I'm gonna tell you why your name, that last name on Inglewood family. Any female need to run from the Jala last name. It ain't straight. On any resume, it ain't straight. I swear to God, bro. Flacco. I'm not done right here, bro. I'm on your bumper because you're a you's a horny frog, bro.
On Bloods, why this nigga so mad? Come on, Blood, I don't understand. Blood, why this nigga so mad? Swoop! Because I'm confused, all right? If you have nothing to do with Drakeo the Ruler's death,
oh man,
if you or your
Flacco
homies
doing
and
his
Inglewood
big
families
one,
have nothing to do with Drakeo the Ruler,
yo, he's pissing off them gang members. I'm pretty sure those gang members are seething watching this, man.
Death, then why are you going so hard trying to get me not to drop this video? Once that didn't work, another blood from Inglewood called Frosty the Snowman, who in my opinion was put up to this by Munchie B, called Adam 22 and began to threaten Adam 22 that if I drop this video exposing Drakeo the Ruler's killer, that they're gonna treat it as if no jumper dropped it. This is just age-old LA tactics.
This kind of content it's gonna get treated like no jumper's the ones dropping that content.
Definitely.
Which
he's right.
On one hand, I think Flacco's totally within his right to expose whatever the he wants to say about an ongoing investigation. Because I mean, it's not any different than what happens in the real media world, where the New York Times, if they find out that there's an investigation going on into a alleged crime that Donald Trump committed, they are going to publish an article.
We've been dealing with LA bullies our entire life. The reason why they contacted Adam when them coming at my family and me didn't do anything is because they think, well, Flacco is associated with no jumper. So if Adam, can get scared, then maybe Adam will scare Flacco into not doing it. Or if Adam tells Flacco, hey man, if you drop it, your job is at risk, bro. Again, LA bully tactics that didn't work, right? Because Adam isn't terrified, isn't scared. Nobody is scared of gangbangers anymore, blood. That's a fact. All right, gangbangers don't scare nobody. So, of course, none of it works. But I'm confused as to why Munchie B is going this hard because I'm in gang members' business. When Munchie B has kept me in gang members' business for as long as I known him. Somebody go ask Munchie B how me, a civilian from North Dakota, knows who shot and killed Rosemo in Inglewood. Go ask him. Just so the streets don't think I'm bluffing, I'm gonna give the streets a hint of something right now that only the streets would know that I know. That's the hint. Now, I would never reveal this information, but if Munchie B have kept me in the streets business for a long time, why is he all of a sudden mad that I'm doing street content? Is it because he's intimately involved with Drakeo the Ruler's death? See, I asked Munchie B this on the No Jumper show.
Again, from my perspective, if Munchie is saying he has nothing to do with that, then why Munchie be so invested that he's willing to diss me and go out the way to cause this much trouble? He has nothing to do with that.
Hey, Flacco, hey. It's hey, look.
Munchie B answer that question though. If Munchie B has
He looking for a certain answer. I ain't gonna give it to him.
Going out of his way.
I feel like he's the only podcaster from Inglewood Family, so he feels like it's kind of on him.
So the families have something to do with that.
I don't know what you talk. What are we talking about, bro?
Okay, let's be real.
Ask my question again.
When it comes to Bloods, Munchie is obviously kind of it has always been at the forefront of the Drakeo versus the Bloods beef. So I feel like it's not really that surprising that Munchie ends up speaking on behalf of the other side of that, right?
I think like
Munchie B has said he has nothing to do with that. The Bloods had nothing to do with that. Family had nothing to do with that. So again, if Munchie B and Inglewood families had nothing to do with that, then why is Munchie B so passionate about this and is causing this much trouble and dissing me over a potential video that don't even exist yet?
What was I trying to do, Munchie? Well, if Munchie B don't want to give the world an answer as to why he's so upset I'm doing this video, then I'll give the world the answer. The reason why Munchie B is so upset is because the person who killed Drakeo the Ruler, the person who took the knife and actually stabbed Drakeo the Ruler, well, that person is really close to Munchie B. But of course, I'm not saying anything new because Munchie B slipped up and said on Clubhouse that he passed a bottle to Drakeo the Ruler's killer almost every day.
No, man, Drakeo is dead, bro. What are we talking about? Don't make me disrespectful.
Hold on, homie.
Hey, bro, look. Hold on. Hey,
you know too much because your homie is responsible for other people's deaths. I'm glad you called and apologized and confirmed that your homie is the killer of Drakeo the Ruler. I'm glad you did that, Munchie. I'm glad you were dumb enough to confess that your homie is the one who killed Drakeo the Ruler. Now, unfortunately for you, I got his identity, his name, and let's expose that right now.
Salute to everybody that's here. I'm just letting y'all view this just so y'all get the details.
You know what's terrible? When Drakeo the Ruler was initially invited to the festival that he lost his life at, he was skeptical. He was reluctant to go. Because when you look at the flyer for the festival, YG was also set to perform. And obviously Drakeo and the world was well aware that while YG was discussing Drakeo the Ruler on No Jumper, YG told Adam 22 that he's not doing no rap beef with Drakeo, right? Him and his dudes beef for real. And if it's beef, which it was with YG and Drakeo, him and his dudes is gonna come and get you. Drakeo understood that was a threat towards him and that YG was publicly stating that they're gonna come and get Drakeo.
Like, people be knowing, like, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. I'm not finna be going out there doing no rap diss and shit. It's like, if it's smoke, it's really smoke with us. We ain't playing, you know? So, like, I'm gonna tell the homies the same shit, bro. I done told D3 that, like, we ain't doing none of that weird shit for nothing, for the rap. No, we not on none of that. We trying to make hits. We gonna move around, get rich, have fun. All that rap beef and all that shit, we not rap beefing, we really beefing. The homies gonna get you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we ain't even trying to do that. We chilling. We not on that. So, you know what I'm saying? That's what I tell the homies. That's what I tell the homies that my who I be with, that I hang with, you know what I'm saying? Like D3 young, bro, that's not cool. Like, we ain't doing none of that.
Right. It's kind of like a shortcut to like getting you a couple million views.
As reluctant as he was, Drakeo still agreed to come to the festival and perform for several reasons. A, he was being paid $50,000 to come and perform. And then two, Snoop Dogg personally called Drakeo and asked him to come to the festival and perform. Drakeo had love for Snoop, so he couldn't turn that down. And Drakeo also got assurance from people he respected like Wack 100 who told him that they will be there as well. So if he come early enough, they'll be able to link up with him and he will have some reinforcement. However, Drakeo the Ruler came super late and came after Wack 100 and his crew already left.
We was actually waiting on Drakeo to make sure he got in and out right, but shit, we waited on him an hour and something. You know, I had 100 tickets. I had 4 artists performing. I had Game, I had Blueface, Coyote, and True Car. So I told Nephew we was gonna wait up for him and make sure he got in and out of there right. But after holding Blue and holding Game and the team a whole hour, they was with it. And like, bro, we don't think he gonna show up, let's roll. I called his little brother and then was there early, about 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And you know, they was good. By the time we got to the Sprinter and got to the freeway, we got the call, he was dead.
Drakeo needed every one of those numbers to save his life because the plot to murder Drakeo was already in place by the time Drakeo got to the festival. Now, the reason why Drakeo was so late to the festival is because he had to make multiple stops before getting to the festival. So Drakeo and his security guard met up at his home in the hills. Drakeo and his security guard left his house in the hills and drove over to the Awful Lot of Call Center parking lot to link up with Ralphie, K7, Chief and Heavily, and others to then drive over to the festival. Before they started driving over to the festival, Drakeo had a conversation with everybody he was with. He told everybody, get rid of whatever you guys have on you. Get rid of any guns, anything illegal you guys have on you, get rid of it right now. Drakeo didn't want to get to the festival and have problems with the police or security. So he told his crew, whatever you guys have on you, get rid of it right now.
That's why I think this whole thing is sad, because it seemed like from everything he really didn't want to go. Even with the assurances and everything, that's probably why he came there late. He didn't want to be there. And it's just like a whole bunch of the worst things came together, and what happened, right? And this thing has been sitting unsolved for well over 5 years. Well, until now. But we'll see what the police does. Let's watch a little bit more of this.
Everybody who was with Drakeo got rid of everything illegal they had on them before they began to drive over to the festival. While Drakeo was driving over to the festival, he was getting live updates from members of his entourage, like Donut, who was already at the festival. Drakeo had a hunch something was wrong, so he had people at the festival setting parameter and just like testing the temperature and looking at who was already there. Drakeo felt a little more at ease as they got closer to the festival because the people he had in place at the festival already was telling Drakeo, yo, we ran across YG and his homies and these bloods that we don't get along with, but they seen us, they know we are a part of your entourage and we're part of your crew, and they didn't do nothing or say nothing to us. So it looks like everything is chill. At the time, they seen that as a positive sign. But looking back in hindsight, that was a negative sign.
Because like I said, we was there checking in. We've been there all day. I personally was there all day. I ain't gonna say who I was with, but I checked, for the check-in team. So we there. They said, we go with the homies, now let's stay here, man. Make sure it's cool for them. Make sure it's, feasible. Niggas got comfortable, it's comfortable. We run into everybody who we think we gonna bump heads with. Ain't nothing happens. A couple of us, nothing happens.
In hindsight, that was a bad sign. They seen you guys, they didn't get along with you guys, but nobody said nothing. That's because y'all weren't the target. They weren't gonna set it off with the entourage and now everybody gets kicked out and then they miss Drakeo when Drakeo come in. No, Drakeo the Ruler was the target from the very beginning. Drakeo was walking into a literal death trap. Everybody was colluding against Drakeo the Ruler. When Drakeo, his security guard, Ralphie, K7, Chief and Heavily, when they got to the festival, they went to the security entrance for the artist. When they got to the security entrance for the artist, the security guard said, "What's up, blood?" And they told Drakeo the Ruler they can't go through that entrance, even though Drakeo the Ruler was performing and he was an artist. And he's like, what? Wait, why can't I come through this entrance? Nah, blood, you gotta go to that other entrance. As they was driving to the other entrance, there was a van in front of them. They watched the van drive all the way through the security entrance and didn't get checked at all. But when Drakeo and his crew of people got there, their cars got checked. They got stripped. They got checked as if this was like the airport security, bro. They couldn't even bring a lighter in. But a van in front of them went right through. This is when Drakeo ignored a couple of signs that was supposed to trigger something within him. The van before you got right through without being checked. The security guard
Oh, that's true about Drakeo and Kendra? Okay. That definitely is a fact I didn't know. Okay.
Who was a blood told you can't go through the artist entrance. You had to go through this other entrance you had no idea of. Clearly something was up. After they was done getting checked, they got the green light to proceed further. And when they was driving up, they went past that van. And the van that didn't get checked, when they drove past it, they seen members from YG crew, 400 members. They were in that van. When they finally hopped out the vehicle, they began to walk past several members of 400 and YG crew with 400 shirts on. They also walked past several BPS members. One member right here you see have a Cardinals jacket on. When Drakeo finally walked in, it was a literal united Blood Nation front against Drakeo. A private investigator says when he reviewed the footage of Drakeo at the festival getting into the altercation that took his life,
113
he counted
people.
113 blood members.
So you mean to tell me 113 people wanted to hurt Drakeo the ruler that bad? 100. I've never seen that before. I've never seen 100 people want to get at one dude. That's insane. That is insane to me.
Who swarmed Drakeo. It was perfectly clear this wasn't something that happened on the whim. This was something that was carefully and strategically planned out. This was a murder that was planned out days in advance. Because when Drakeo walked in, people had on ski masks. A rapper named K7 who was fighting next to Drakeo identified the man who was able to sneak in the knives to give to the assassins. His name is Gloves. He was YG's security guard for years, and he still is.
Cheers. I'm speaking facts, bro. YG in real life, and all the bro. I don't give a bro. I'm so mad, bro. On my mama, bro. YG did some hoe, bro. And if I see Cuz, I'ma slap the shit with that. On all this puff talking like they hard, bro, but you fight big ass security. You got those security guards fight. Come on, bro. That's cool, bro. On my mama, bro. The big ass ball security guard snuck in knives, all type of weird.
The person he's saying snuck the knives in that was used to kill Drakeo is a man by the name of Big Gloves, as you see right here. He's YG's security guard. Anywhere you see YG, you see him. This was strategically and methodically planned because as soon as Drakeo walked in at 8:30, and by 8:32, it already sparked off. They were already in place, already had their knives, waiting for Drakeo to walk in so they could murder Drakeo.
Imagine being able to build anything.
That's crazy, man. Oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy what happens when egos get involved, right?
8:30, it was cracking at 8:32, like type shit. Like,
wow.
Yeah, that's the type of shit. Yeah.
I think your mom said it was around 40 to 60 men in masks.
No, it was like 100 and something.
Really?
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying?
What do you say to people saying it was a setup? Because they were saying he shouldn't have been on the same bill as some of those other people at all.
I mean, shit, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, you know, they're not. I wouldn't say, you know what I'm saying, that if you know, you know. Like, you know what I'm saying? We pulled up at 8:30, 8:32. It was cracking like this. Shit like that.
So I'm guessing you saw it happen.
Yeah, it was, I mean, I think everything happened in motion. Like, you know what I'm saying, right then and there. It wasn't no 70 people packing out Drakeo. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just happened right there.
Yeah.
I feel like it just happened like all in one motion. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody ever got to Drakeo, like, to just get Drakeo. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was all in one motion.
Yeah.
The footage of them getting swarmed from 100 Bloods, from Pyrus to Inglewood families to BPS, that's on YouTube. Now, if you look at the still shot from this video, you see Drakeo is behind his security. Drakeo is still swinging, but he's behind his security. Now, a lot of people mistakenly believe this is the footage of Drakeo getting stabbed. It's not. When they walked in, they walked past BPS members, Inglewood family members, a lot of Bloods, they weren't fazed. They began to walk, trying to get to their place, trying to get on stage, trying to perform. Draco homie Chiefin Heavily, who has a store in LA, he falls behind. And as he falls behind the group, they try to rob him for his chain. Some blood members try to rob him for his chain. When they try to rob him, he was able to escape. And he runs over to Draco, Ralphie, and the crew and says, yo, they just try to rob me. Some bloods try to rob me. Draco says, what? Draco's security, Coop, tells Draco, hey, yo, keep pushing. Keep going. Draco said, F that. Who did it? As Draco turned around to try to figure out who tried to rob his homies, they swarmed them. They absolutely swarmed them. Now, they was fighting for about a minute. Draco did not get stabbed in that video. Draco did not get stabbed in that video. They were fighting for about a minute. As they were fighting for about a minute, LAPD begins to walk down, so the crowd begins to disperse. However, there's people still there. Now, LAPD is shouting, the security guard is shouting at LAPD, yo, get them, get them. Multiple dudes then bum rushed Draco and his security guard, Coop. Coop then was able to get one dude, but then the other dude was able to go around Coop and stab Draco in his neck and stabbed him. Coop is yelling at LAPD, get him. LAPD then flashed the light, and before they could flash the light, the dude took off. But who was that dude that stabbed Draco in his neck? Who was it? He's a friend of Munchie B called Frankenstone. His legal name is Frank Williams. Now, this particular screenshot right here is footage from another murder Frank Williams is involved in. We are not going to show the footage or identify the victim of the murder because we personally don't want to include the victim in anything out of respect for him and his family. That footage that I'm not gonna show nor identify who the victim was, that footage is of Frankenstone, AKA Frank Williams, stabbing another victim in the neck after an altercation at an after party spot. He murdered this victim the same way he murdered Draco. The victim held his hand out to shake Frank Williams' hand. Frank Williams refused to shake his hand and then stalked him all across the building and then ultimately stabbed him. Now, the police believe that he did this to promote or assist the Black Peace Stones. He's currently out on bail as he's fighting this murder case. Now, when he found out that I was gonna do this video about him, that I was going to identify him as the man who stabbed and killed Draco the Roller, he deleted his Instagram, his Facebook, he deleted all traces of himself from online. But it's too late for him to run and hide. The police have identified him because people who were present has identified him as the one who did it. Not only is the police identifying him as a suspect in this, but the streets, him and his homies, have told people that he was the one who stabbed and killed Draco. The streets credit him, Frankenstone, Frank Williams, as the one who stabbed and killed Draco the Ruler. People who were present behind the scenes have told anyone willing to listen that Frankenstone is who stabbed and killed Draco the Ruler. It's just a fact. Now,
that's all I'm gonna play from that. I just wanted you to get the gist of that because those are my two main topics. Maybe something is wrong with my call system. Nobody called in, so I'll have to work on that and probably see if there's any issues. I'll work towards settling those issues. But salute to everybody that showed up in the live show tonight. Salute to the moderators, channel members, the patrons, the donators. Again, make sure y'all go over to Kick and subscribe Jada Black live streams on Kick. If you don't have an account, get a Kick account. Make you a Kick account and subscribe to Jada Black live streams. I will be at some point streaming over there, so I need y'all to follow me over there. Even if you don't watch anybody else, you know, you'd watch me. So let's put that in there again. Make sure y'all subscribe on Kick. And all my other links are in the description box. My Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Make sure y'all subscribe to all my channels. I posted 2 videos today. I posted this video about Carrie Hilson. And also I made a video about Floyd Mayweather Jr. And if Floyd Mayweather Jr. is going broke, Y'all think Floyd Mayweather Jr. going broke? Y'all go over there to the channel, Jada Black channel. Both are on the same channels. On the same channel. And check that out. I thought this was a really good show. Again, if you want to send me topics, go to my email. It's in the description box, jadablacklive@gmail.com. Again, jadablacklive@gmail.com. It's in the description box. And make sure that y'all are following all of the socials. Make sure I have it in here. Hold on. 'Cause I don't have it in here. Okay. There we go. He owes Logan Paul money allegedly. Really? Now that's crazy if that's true. But yeah, man, that's it from me, man. Thank y'all for tuning in on this Friday. Hopefully y'all have a great weekend.